I'm Raghavi, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Biochemistry. Now we discuss on the one of an important fixation known as the nitrogen fixation. What is meant by an nitrogen? Nitrogen makes up about 78% of our atmosphere containing the nitrogen. Nitrogen in the atmosphere is mostly in the form of N2, which is a component of plants and animals cannot be used. The process of converting N2 into a completely usable form of plants and animals is known as a nitrogen cycle. Why we care about the nitrogen? Why must we convert nitrogen into a nitrogen cycle? Nitrogen is an essential component of our DNA, RNA and proteins, that is the building block of our life. How does atmospheric nitrogen get converted into a form that can be used by mostly living things? By traveling through one of the four processes in the nitrogen cycle is the nitrogen fixation, ammonification, nitrification and denitrification. This is a cyclic process, that's why the name is known as nitrogen cycle. Now, first step in the nitrogen cycle is the nitrogen fixation. What is meant by a nitrogen fixation? Nitrogen fixation is a process in which N2 component in the atmosphere breaks and combines with the other component. The nitrogen is fixed when it combines with the hydrogen and N component. The three ways to fix the nitrogen, the main process is the species, that is bacteria converts the nitrogen gas and ammonia, and some of the plants can be converted, and other natural source is the lightning streaks converts the nitrogen to NO2 and NO3. N2O or NO3. Industry produces chemicals manipulation turns the N2 into NH3. The second process of nitrogen cycle is the nitrogen fixation in ammonification. That is the ammonification. After all the living organisms have used the organic nitrogen, decomposed by the bacteria, converts the nitrogen to ammonia. That is organic waste in which the bacteria plays an important role in decomposition. After decomposition we get the ammonia. Next, third step of nitrification is nitrogen cycle is the nitrification. Nitrification is the process that converts the ammonia into nitrites and nitrates, NO3 and NO2. In most of plants can be used in this form only. Ammonia can combines from both the nitrogen fixation and ammonification, and bacteria also plays a very important role in the nitrogen fixation. The final step of the nitrogen cycle is denitrification. What is meant by a denitrification? The process in which the nitrogenous compound converted into an atmospheric nitrogen. The main process is performed by the bacteria in the soil. It also happens by the burning of the fossil fuels. This is the cycling process where the nitrogen is fixed into ammonia, that is NH3. NH3 is then converted into NO3 and NO2. This is a cyclic process of four things. Animal proteins. What happens in the animal proteins? The fourth cycle, which is animal proteins, the plants and animal waste, urine, feces, in which the bacteria and fungi plays a very important role, in which the nitrogen is converted into ammonia. After the ammonia is converted, nitrates and nitrates are releases through the bacteria itself, and that is known as a nitrifying bacteria, in which the bacteria converts the ammonia into nitrates and nitrates. Nitrates is absorbed again, and plants made the protein by using these nitrates and nitrites, and again the plants waste can be decomposed, and again it can be converted into other functions. Nitrogen in the air is lightning and in the root nodules. The plants can be used the nitrogen. And what about the human beings? Human being impact. Human impact, that is the combustion of releasing the toxic nitrogen compound into the atmosphere. Commercial fertilizer releases the nitrogen oxide into the atmosphere and introduce excess of nitrogen into the environment, removes the nitrogen from the soil, which mean it forms the nitrogenic rich and mineral deposition in the municipalities waste discharge releases the nitrogen. In commercial fertilization, all the 1% of contributor of new nitrogen in the nitrogen cycle, adding because the nitrogen is the limited factor for the plant growth. Problem is the hard to be applied the fertilizer and keep it in one area, round off the evaporation, etc. So the farmer applies that twice as much as they needed. Extra nitrogen is disrupted the food chain. Thank you.